Promotion and relegation is something that we all want to see in the A-League in the near future. So I thought I might add it into Football Manager. Thanks to an add-on by Steve Farrell. I'll link that down in the description if you want to check this out for yourselves. But I'm going to simulate the next 20 years of the A-League with this newfound promotion and relegation system. There's a lot of leagues in this, but we're only going to be covering the top 4 leagues. So let's get into it and simulate the first season. So before we get into the simulation, I thought it might be a good idea to let you know who is in what leagues in this simulation. We have 20 teams in the A-League: Adelaide City, Adelaide United, Brisbane Roar, Canberra Croatia, Central Coast Mariners, Devonport Strikers, Gold Coast United, Macarthur FC, Melbourne City, Melbourne Victory, Newcastle Jets, Olympia Warriors, Hobart-based team, Perth Glory, Stirling, Macedonia, another Perth-based team, Sunshine Coast Wanderers up in the sunny coast of Queensland, obviously. Sydney FC, Wellington, Phoenix, Western Sydney Wanderers, Western United, and Wollongong Wolves round out the top division. Into the championship, where we've got Apia Leichhardt, Bayswater City, Bentley Greens, Broadmeadow Magic, Campbelltown City, Canberra Olympic, Heidelberg, Inglewood, Ipswich, Lions, Marconi, Melbourne Knights, Metro Stars, North Geelong, Oakley Cannons, Olympic FC, Penn Power, South Hobart, South Melbourne, Surfers Paradise Apollo, South West Queensland Thunder, Sydney Olympic, Sydney United, and West Adelaide. Into the lower 2 divisions, we got Adelaide Croatia, Belconnen, Blacktown City, Bonnyrigg, Brisbane City, Brisbane Strikers, Croydon, Dandenong, Eastern Suburbs, Edgeworth, Florida Fina, Gold Coast Knights. You get the gist, right? There's a lot of teams, a lot of NPL teams, a lot of close to the top of NPL teams around the country. There's a lot of teams in this league. So, without further ado, let's simulate the first season of the Australian Pyramid. Alright, so here we are at the end of the first season of this new Australian Pyramid in Football Manager. Sydney FC, they have won the title in a very, very close title race. 84 points to Melbourne Victory's 83. Very close title race indeed. Canberra Croatia, Adelaide City, and Devonport Strikers, the 3 teams to be relegated. No shock, really, that majority of these NPL clubs, aren't getting that money just yet and are the first teams to be relegated. Really, the top 12 are all current A-League teams. So it's what you expect really in the first season. Very close title race. Obviously, with this add-on, there's actually no final series. So we've only got the league to worry about. Let's have a look at the award winners. Let's have a look at those. Goalkeeper of the Year, Western United's goalkeeper. Not even going to try and pronounce that name. Alex Paulson second and Denny Vukovic third. Valijaman picks up the Golden Boot with 17 goals. Same with Oscar Zavada. So tied for goals, just more assists for Jaman and Marcus Anderson in third. Manager of the Year, Ufuk Talai, Alan Stajic, and Tony Popovic. Obviously, Talai winning the premiership. Player of the Year, Jay O'Shea, closely followed by Josh Nisbet and Joe Lolly. And then we'll just have a quick look at the Team of the Year. A lot of Sydney, a lot of Victory, and Belair Jermaine, Jay O'Shea, and Luke Bodnar as well. Pretty decent Team of the Year. Young Player of the Year, we got Callas. Aaron Kunda comes in at second. Aaron Kunda scores 6 goals this season. Alright, let's go. If I can go to Australia Championship, and let's have a look at last season. So Sydney Olympic, Melbourne Knights, and Olympic. So we have Sydney, a Sydney, Melbourne, and a Brisbane team all promoted in this last season. Very close title race again, only 2 points separated, and Olympic goes through the playoffs after only just scraping into the playoffs, so pretty impressive there by Olympic. South Hobart, West Adelaide, and Surfers Paradise all get relegated in that one. We'll go to League 1, where past winners, Rockdale, Green Gully, and Gold Coast Knights all get promoted, so the top 3 get promoted. Hume City, Glenorchy, and Ipswich all get relegated in the first season, and then we'll just quickly have a look at League 2 as well. League 2, who got promoted this season? Avondale got promoted. Galleon United and Dandenong get promoted as well. Wollongong, Redlands, and Sunshine Coast Fire all get relegated. So there we go. The first season of this new Australian pyramid is in the books. Obviously, for the A League this season, we got Sydney Olympic joining in, Olympic FC, and Melbourne Knights to join in with those current teams in the A League. So we're going to go forward 5 years this time. So we're going to give it a bit more of a simulation, and we'll just see where some of these teams are in 5 years. Maybe we'll see some A League teams relegated, or maybe double relegated by the time we check in next. So I'll catch you in 5 years.
5 years later.
2029 is where we're at, 5 years in the future, and the A-League table is looking like this, and the whole Australian pyramid is looking like this. Sydney FC, they've won the championship again, same as what we left off with. No A-League club has been relegated just yet. Avondale, Sydney United, and Gold Coast United, the latest three teams to be relegated from the Isuzu Ute A-League. Port Melbourne up in the first division. Wollongong Wolves still there. Sydney Olympic is up in the first division. Preston Lions, Blacktown City. The Blacktown City is actually the best of the rest, I guess. Western United very close to getting relegated in this past season. Top goal scorer, we have Pat Wood scoring 15 goals, Alu Kual scoring 15 goals, and then a regen scoring 17 goals in this season. Daniel Azani still in the A-League for Melbourne Victory, picking up 10 assists. Same with Costa Grozos and Nick Milanovic. Looks like he might have got Player of the Year. Let's have a look at the awards over the last 5 years. See if there's any big names. Gerben Reich, Segicic, Pavlicic. They've all picked up Young Player of the Year. Same with Daniel Benny, who looks like he is at Sydney FC now. That's a pretty big transfer for Daniel Benny. Let's have a look at the Player of the Years. Jez Lofthouse won a Player of the Years. Alex Rufer, Brennan Borrello. Alex Rufer won again. And then Alex Rando for Melbourne City. Let's have a look at the Manager of the Years. Ulfric Tallow picked up 3 in a row. And then Paul D for the Western Sydney Wanderers. Mark Jackson still at the Central Coast Mariners. And Aurelio Vidmar actually still at Melbourne City. Let's have a look at the Golden Boot. Matt Lackey picked up 1. Antonson picked up 1. Alu Kual, Pat Wood. And then, as we mentioned, Costas, the regen, picking up the latest Golden Boot. Goalkeeper of the Year, Lawrence Thomas picked up 3 in a row. Anthony Pavlicic picked up 1, who's at the Wellington Phoenix now. And then Alex Rondo picked up a Goalkeeper of the Year. Let's have a look at the past winners. Sydney FC, they've won 4 out of the 6 so far. Central Coast Mariners, Melbourne Victory, Mariners and Victory both picked up wins as well, and they look like they're about the top 3 sides. Victory, Mariners, and Sydney FC over the last few years. Wellington came in third once, and the Wanderers picked up a few third places as well. Let's have a look at the second division, see what's going on over there in the NPL Championship. Let's have a look at the past winners over here. So Rockdale's gone up at some point. Heidelberg, Preston Lions, Port Melbourne, and Green Gully, South Melbourne, have been the latest 2 teams to go up. Let's have a look at the league table. Gold Coast Knights have gone up into the top divisions. They'll be playing first division football next year as well. Melbourne Knights, Marconi have gone down, and then Gunnerlin have also gone down in the championship, down to League 1. So it looks like no A-League clubs have been relegated at all so far. So, nothing too crazy happening just yet in this pyramid simulation. Have a look at the latest League 1 standings as well. Brunswick Juventus have gone up. Modbury Jets and Dandenong City have gone up. With Brisbane Strikers, Inglewood, and Olympia Warriors going down. So they've gone down a couple of divisions now. Olympia, when they started off, they were in the first division, and then they've gone 2 in 2 years. So they have had a quick drop there. the side from Tasmania. Um, yeah, so not much has really gone on in terms of changing. Adelaide City, that's another team. They've gone down. They had a couple of years in the championship, and now they're down in League One as well. Caboolture, they've gone up. It looks like they've gone up a fair bit. Caboolture, they started off. Where did they start off? 23, 24. They started off in MPL 2, and now they're up to MPL 1. Um, not not many teams that I'm thinking of. Maybe Edgeworth Eagles. Sorry, they've gone up. No, they've stayed in MPL 1 this whole time as well. Let's have a look at League 2. See if any big teams are down here. None that I can really think. Devonport, actually, they've dropped a fair bit. Devonport Strikers, they started off in the A League, and now they've just been relegated down to League Two as well. So then, not looking too good for Devonport. Maybe one of the lowest teams at the moment. I can't think. Maybe where did Blacktown start off? I'm pretty sure they were fairly high. So they actually well, okay. So they started off at MPL 1. So they had actually back-to-back promotions from Blacktown City, and pretty impressive stuff from Blacktown. But other than that, not a whole lot of change has happened in the last few years of the A League and the Australian Pyramid going on. The A League's up to the ninth best league in Asia. Still, we want that to climb, don't we? We want to see them in the top 5 at least in Asia. But there we go. There's the last 5 years of the A League. We're up to 2029. We have fast forward another 5 years to 2034. We're going to be going forward. We're going to be 10 years in the future, and then we will see how the A League is looking. Then maybe we will finally have some of those current A League squads down and relegated, but I guess we'll have to find out in 5 years' time, so I will see you then.
10 years later.
Alright, we're in 2034 now. We're now 10 years into the future of the A-League in this new pyramid system. And unfortunately, it looks like no one has really been able to crack any of the A-League teams. I reckon their revenue just must be too high for any of these teams to crack at the moment. Still got all 11 A-League teams in the top 11. Newcastle Jets sitting 13th, so only 2 spots below that. But there's been a lot of movement here in the top flight. Gold Coast Knights, they've come from, they've been, in and around the last few years. So they've been relegated, finished 5th the next season, got promoted, and then they're back in and they secured safety for that one season. Rockdale, they've come up a couple of leagues since the start. They started in League One, and they've been up and around the A League since. Who else have we got in here? We got Bentley Greens. They've just been up and around the championship. Recently only got promoted. And then obviously safe in this season. Green Gully, they look like they've come up a few leagues. They started in MPL 1. So they've come up a few different leagues, and they've had a few successful, seasons in the A League, sorry. Blacktown, we saw them. They've, established themselves as an A League team. RPA Leichhardt, they've had a bit of a up and down kind of 10 years. Spent most of it in the championship, but they've come up a couple of times, gone back down the same season, but this season they have been relegated again. Heidelberg, Port Melbourne, that's an interesting club. They started off in League One. Couple of years took them, and then, they've been in and around the A League since, but they're going down to the championship in the next season. Where are we? Australia, go to the championship. Who do we have in the championship at the moment? South Melbourne getting promoted, Sydney Olympic, and Sutherland Sharks have been promoted. Wollongong Wolves finally down in the second tier. Melbourne Knights, Oakley Cannon, Sydney United. Metro Stars have just been relegated. Brisbane City. Not much big change in this kind of kind of system. They're all kind of staying around the same leagues at the moment. No drastic changes. Morton City, they're up in the championship after spending a majority of their time. Oh, they've been in the championship majority of the time. They just started off in MPL 1, but spending most of their time now in the championship. Good to see, good to see. Central Coast United, they started off. So that's probably the lowest we've seen a team come from. So they're in the championship now, and they started off this simulation in this Fox Sports League One, which is really it's the what sixth tier of this um simulation, this pyramid that we have in Australia. So that's probably the biggest jump we've seen so far is Central Coast United. They've come up and they've, pretty much established themselves as a championship team now, staying up in this last season. Um, you know, we're not seeing much change though. Still not much change is being shown around here. Penn Power just been promoted again. Murray United, they've come from pretty deep as well. We're starting to see these lower teams come up. So they're coming from the 7th division. They're all the way up into MPL 1 now, and they've just been promoted into the championship. So interesting to see where they'll be in 5 years' time. We got Lions Olympic in League One. Modbury Jets, Broadmeadow Magic, Campbelltown City being relegated onto League Two. Any teams that we can kind of recognise in here? Not a whole lot really. Adelaide Croatia's down here, South West Queensland Thunder, but not many massive changes so far. Let's go back to the A League and just have a look at some of the past winners. Looks like it's still Sydney FC and the Mariners really dominating. Western Sydney Wanderers won the last two back to back. Good to see as a Wanderers fan myself. Award winners, with Anthony Pavlicic, Cam Cook, and then we start to get into the regenerated players in the last few years. Golden Boots, not many people that no one of that no one really knows here in this league. Back to awards. I don't know what I'm doing. Manager of the year. Still not a whole lot going on here of people that are real standouts for the current A League. I don't know what I'm doing here. Player of the years. Angel Torres picked up a couple. Daniel Benny picked up one. And then once again, Cam Pupignon. He is in the A League. 31 years of age now. He's playing for Adelaide United. So I'd love to see that in the future. Hopefully we can see him down here in the future. And then, yeah, once again, all pretty much regenerated players at this point, and we're going to see that a lot from here on out. Not many people, that are actual A-League players are still going to be around in 10 years' time. So, there we go. We're still sitting 9th in the Asian rankings. And there is another 5 years done in this simulation of the Australian pyramid. We're seeing some teams kind of make their way all the way up from the bottom to closer to the top. Maybe in a few more years' times, maybe we'll finally see an A-League team relegated. We'll have to find out. But yeah, we'll see you again in 5 years' time. We're now in 2039, 15 years in the future. We only got 5 more years left of this simulation, and we're finally starting to see things shaken up in the A-League. Wellington Phoenix have been relegated. Have any other teams been relegated? Maybe the Newcastle Jets by the look of it. But there we go. That's our first team that we've seen relegated. Melbourne Victory win the title. Western Sydney Wanderers come in second. Perth Glory. Any surprises up here? Gunnerland, I think I previewed them at last time. They've come from MPL 2. They're all the way up in the A-League now. Sutherland Sharks, they've come from pretty far down. They've got MPL 2 as well. Spent a few seasons in the A-League, but now they're gone back down. Rockdale, they're up in the A-League now. Started off in League One, sorry, and now they're just just stayed in the A League for this season, but there's looks like there's starting to be a bit of change up in this. Wanderers have absolutely dominated since we last checked in. 5-4. How many did they win? They won 6 in a row. Came runners up this past season. So the Wanderers, they're doing very, very well for themselves. The A League's gone up to sixth in the rankings, so we're finally starting to get somewhere. And the Wanderers are absolutely dominating the A League. I love to see it. I absolutely love to see that. Let's check in on the championship. Who is in the championship? Gold Coast Knights, there we go. Newcastle Jets are also down in the championship. They didn't get promoted in the last season. RPL Leichhardt, Gold Coast Knights, and Sydney United all got promoted. Belconnen up in the championship. They started down in the Conference League. They started off in League One, made their way all the way down to the Conference League, spent a couple of seasons, and back-to-back promotions will get them had them in the championship, and now they're back down to League One. So, a couple of, lower league clubs finally making their way a bit higher. Port Adelaide, they're now in, it's probably the lowest we've seen a team come from Fox Sports League 3. So that's what, seventh, eighth tier of Australian football in this triple promotion seasons. They've been on a very quick rise here. Port Adelaide, some very, very good seasons from them. More Conference League squads up in here, so we're starting to see them teams finally come through. And we're starting to finally see the A League teams come under a bit of pressure, and a couple of them have been relegated. Anyone down in League One to note: Avondale, Manly United, and Adelaide Commons get promoted. Valdemere Lions, Mount Druitt, Maitland, Langwarrin, maybe they've come from pretty low. Yeah, Fox Sports 1. Lake Macquarie, that's a team that's probably going to come from pretty low. Yeah, and once again, Fox Sports 1. Um, Not many others that I could have made. Maybe Sorrento? No, just the championship. So, we're starting to see like these teams slowly make their way up. Obviously, nothing major just yet. And then League 2, Modbury Jets, Bullen Lions, and Bankstown City make it into League 1, where Hume City, Goulburn, and Bill Culler all go down to the Conference League. We're starting to finally see the A League and Australian football go up in a level. We've got some Koa, they're up in League 2 now. They started just in the championship. So, there's some teams in the West Hawks. They look like they've probably come from a bit low. Yeah, Fox Sport 1. We're starting to finally see these teams make their way up the ranks. Let's go to the A League. Let's have a look at some of the award winners. James Austin looks like he's a killer striker at the moment. 17 goals one season, 18 the next. Surely that's a couple of golden boots for him as well. No, we're seeing 20 goal seasons, 23 goal seasons. He looks like a absolute player there, Romeo. 16 goals in the previous season. Sorry, we're seeing a lot of Wanderers players just absolutely dominate at the moment. Once again, I love to see it. I love to see the Wanderers doing well. But yeah, a lot of progression has happened over these last 5 years. A lot of player of the years. Sheik Housey, he looks like he's an absolute dominating force for the Wanderers at the moment. Let's have a look at his career stats. 15 assists, 17 assists, 14 assists. He's absolutely killing it at the moment. Come from the Ivory Coast, went to China, and he's been in the A League for 6 years now, and he's absolutely killing it. Absolutely, absolutely killing it. So he's one that could be in the all-time A League teams manager of the years. Nathaniel Atkinson, he's the manager of Brisbane Roar. That's interesting to see. Shannon Cole, he's a Sydney Olympic manager, and we're seeing some of like the old A League players in this save. Zeke Gordon, he's managing the Central Coast Mariners. We're seeing some of these like past A League players come through and manage these sides now. David Kearney, head of MacArthur. So yeah, we're starting to see like the next generation come through. We got 5 more years left of this simulation. So we'll catch up with you in 2044 for our last check-in of this simulation.
One eternity later.
And here we are, our final check-in on this 20-year simulation of the Australian football pyramid in Football Manager. And it looks like we are still having a fair bit of chop and change. It looks like it's starting to get around. Look, we've got some teams breaking into the top 10. We've got Sydney United, Heidelberg, Dandenong, South Melbourne, all above the Mariners. Wellington Phoenix, we saw them get relegated last time. They're back in the A-League. How long did they spend out of it? Okay, just the one season. They got promoted straight back up. But, you know, we're seeing them struggle. We are seeing teams start to struggle at the moment. Let's have a look at the past winners here. Melbourne Victory. They pretty much dominated. Them and Western Sydney Wanderers have dominated, especially over the last 10 years, have been absolute domination from Victory. And the Wanderers, just have a look at the quick award winners. You know, as you expect, it's mainly just Western Sydney. Victory and the Mariners, we are seeing a bit change up here. You know, not a whole lot. Nathaniel Atkins, he's made his way over to Perth Glory. Craig Nunn, he's over in Melbourne City. He's, you know, obviously coaching them now. But yeah, we're starting to see a bit more of, you know, this changing up. You know, Sydney United, how long have they been in the competition for? They've been in the A-League since, you know, 2041. That just feels weird to say. 2040. Yeah, they've been in the competition since then. Port Adelaide, you know, they continue their rise from. That's probably the biggest rise we've seen, right? We've seen them come all the way from what's that the eighth, ninth tier of Australian football, all the way up to the A-League. So some massive respects from Port Adelaide. They're probably the biggest rise that we're going to see um, in this final save here. Gulligan, they've come from NPL 2. You know, we've got teams like Avondale. Come up, they've gone up and down and up and down, and finally made their way to the A-League. Moreton City, they started off in NPL 1 and they've had a slow rise to the A-League, and obviously just getting relegated as well. You know, we're starting to see, as we've mentioned the last couple of times, we're seeing a lot of regenerated players, you know, come through in this save. The championship, let's see who's in the championship. Newcastle Jets, they're getting promoted back to the A-League. How long have they been in? So they've been relegated, and this is going to be their first season going back up. They've been a bit of a mid-table club in the second division, but you know, we're starting to see these teams finally find their way back to obviously about Wellington Phoenix go down and come back up. Now Newcastle Jets are finally coming back up as well. Wolves, the Wynnum Wolves, they are up from the championship. They've come a long way. You know, they've jumped up 4 tiers now, 3 tiers, 3 tiers now. Who else we got in here that, you know, would have had a pretty big ride? Oh, Western United, obviously. Shit, I didn't even realize they got relegated. Western United down in the championship. This is their second season. They're not going back up this season. Up here, Leichhardt, how have they been? So they've been a bit of a yo-yo club, up and down and up and down and up and down. Obviously not going back up this time. Wollongong Wolves, Cumberland United, that might be a team that's come up a bit. Yeah, NPL 2. Okay, so they've come up a fair bit. Not many of these other teams, I don't think, would have come from very low. Maybe Bentley Greens, maybe they've come from a bit. No, they've always been a championship club. Spent a couple of seasons in the A-League. But, you know, there's been some, you know, some big rises, especially that one in the A-League that I can... Port Adelaide, they've had the biggest jump, I reckon, out of everyone. Sutherland Sharks, Rochdale, and Edgeworth all getting promoted from League One up into the Championship. Monaro Panthers, they've come up from the Conference League. Who else we got? Buchanan, they're up in League One. They've spent a couple of seasons in the championship as well. So shout out Belconnen, Hills United. They must have come up a fair bit, yeah, from the Conference League as well. Who else have we got in here? Bayswater City. They've no, they've just stayed around. Never mind. Bacala, where have they come from? So football, yeah, steady rise from the Fox Sports League One, which is the 6th tier of Australian football in this kind of simulation save. Maitland FC, they have been up and down a couple of times, haven't they? Yeah, they looks like they're just kind of staying around this kind of area. Other than that, I don't think many teams would have gone up and down that much. Ipswich FC, they've just been hanging around here. It's been that long, I don't know who was aware at the start of the save, let's be honest. Just finally check out League 2. Broadman and Magic, Eastern Suburbs, and Western Workers have gone up. They started off in the Fox Sports 2 League, so that would be the 7th tier of Australian football. Devonport really have been the biggest fallers. They started off, they've gone all the way down to the Fox Sports League 1. So Devonport really shouldn't have been in the A-League to start off with. Ended up all the way down in the Fox Sports League 1, spent there for a while, and then slowly making their ways back up Devonport. But Sydney University, maybe another team that's come from pretty low. Yeah, Fox Sports League 3. So that would be the 8th tier of Australian football. They've made their way up to League 2, which is the 4th tier. Who else have we got here that might be of interest? Blacktown Spartans. No, they've just come from the conference below. Adelaide City, they started off in the A-League, and it's been a dip, and it looks like they've finally found their level in League 2, around that League 2, League 1 area. But other than that, not much. Port Kembella, maybe they've come from pretty low, yeah, League 2, but at the same point where we are pretty low in the pyramid. Rallamere Lions, they've come from League 2 as well. So there you go. There is the next 20 years if Australia had a footballing pyramid. Pretty interesting. I found that pretty interesting. One thing I forgot to check as well was where is the A-League in the standing. Still 6th. We're still 6th. Haven't grown too much. But there you go. That is a look into the future, maybe, if we do get this promotion and relegation. I do think it'll be a bit tighter than this. Is a lot of A-League clubs have stayed in the A-League. Wellington, they went down, came straight back up. Newcastle Jets spent a bit of time, and Western United have spent a bit of time in the championship as well. But there you go. Just a little look into the future of Australian football if we had promotion and relegation. But there we go. There is that whole simulation done, and we have reached the end of the video. Let me know if you have enjoyed this. If you've made it so far, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Football Manager content. I do enjoy making this kind of stuff. It does take a long time to create as well, so anything that you can support the channel, I would really appreciate it if you did so. But thank you all for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe again, and until next time, I'll see you soon.